Today I'm going to teach you how to use Robinhood Legend's brand new chart system. And as you know, Robinhood Legend is pretty much brand new. It's only been out for a couple days now. So first off, if you're looking at the new Robinhood Legend system, you're confused as to what's really going on, I created a video on how to create a phenomenal two-chart system here, which if you think that it will be helpful to you, I highly recommend you watch that video. I'll leave the link in the description. You could go ahead and watch it, and you'll be able to get a lot of information for free there. All right, so now I'm going to kind of show you how to understand and how to read these charts. And I'm going to use this layout just because it's a little bit less congested, I guess you can say, something a little bit more easy to understand. And we're going to enlarge the size of our chart here just so we can get the most out of what we're looking at. So I'm going to do a full screen chart here, and I'm going to just take my mouse and hover over and stretch it all the way to the left-hand side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to understand what we're looking at. So first thing is we have to understand our controls. And the first thing I have here on my screen is a mouse, and the mouse is moving, as you can see. And this is kind of my selector of where exactly price points are, essentially where my mouse is going. And notice how as my mouse moves, we have the color that changes from yellow to red, right? So red and yellow, where there's a sell-off period, and really this is kind of determined by the purchases and the sell-offs. And you can see here, or excuse me, yeah, the purchase and sell-offs. And you could see these charts in the bottom that represent these volumes right here of when people buy, when people sell. And it's very, very kind of easy to understand really what's going on here if you just purely look at these bars, right? You look at the candlesticks, you look at the bars down here, and these bars represent the volume of purchasing, right? And because of volume, prices go up and down, right? So if people sell a lot, the price is probably going to go down. If people buy a lot, the price is probably going to go up. So it's just typical supply and demand, right? Nothing too crazy. But if I have my mouse here and I zoom in, which I use that little scroll analog, and I zoom in, notice what happens, right? The bars become thicker and larger. When I zoom out, the bars become smaller and I see more of the chart per se. Now, if you look here on the bottom left-hand corner, we have a one-day chart, a one-week chart, 1 month, 3 months, year to date, 1 year, 5 years, and all. So let's go ahead and click on one of these. So for example, let's click on 1 week, and you can see now this is the 1 week chart, right? And notice how the 1 week chart starts here and ends here. Well, what if we want to mark up our chart? We want to write stuff on this chart to help us kind of see patterns and things. Well, if you notice, there are a few buttons up here. We have this button that shows, like, I guess you could say a line with like 2 little dots on the right and to the left of it. We have a shapes button. We have a button here that represents advanced, and then another button that represents annotations, and then finally a more button. So let's kind of go through these buttons and kind of explain the value of each one. So when we click on lines, we have a whole bunch of different things that we can use. Horizontal line, horizontal ray, vertical line. We have a trend line, we have a trend channel, array once again, extended line, and a info line. So let's just use something very simple like a trend line. Well, I can draw these trend lines. So for example, if I see that there's, for example, a sell-off period from here all the way to, let's just say, down here, and then we have a little upward trajectory, right? I can actually do more of that. So I can grab this trend line again, and let me just draw a little bit here. So like kind of from here to here, right? And I would just, let's just say I want to leave that. And let's say I want to continue this moving forward. So right here, let's say, and then I want to grab, again, trend line and kind of show how it has these peaks and valleys, right? I can show that with these trend lines. And sometimes it will be good to look at these trend lines to be able to predict what's going on. So, you know, you'll be able to map it out, but you can see what kind of different trend lines there are. So I can choose how much thickness I want for my trend. So for example, if I want my trend line to be a little bit thicker, you can see it's a little bit thicker here. If I want it to be a little bit thinner, I can kind of alter that. And all I have to do is just click on the actual line to kind of manipulate that. But regardless, there's different things that I could do. So, for example, if I want to draw a rectangle, right, to annotate a very particular segment, right, or to represent a certain period of time. So, for example, if I know a stock is going to, after a sell-off period, it's going to, behave quite stagnantly for a period of about 3 days or 4 days, I might want to mark that off, right? I might want to do those things just to keep studying the charts, and that's what these tools are for. They're visualization tools to help you study the charts. But more importantly, you could do it all within Robinhood, right? Here we have Fibonacci retracements and extensions. These are nice little, I guess you could say, features. Dare I even say plugins, different things that you can kind of use to kind of, like I said, help predict certain things. And of course, predicting things in the stock market is relatively difficult, but you get what I'm trying to say here. Here is we have this chart that just shows the overall behavior, taking away all the different candlesticks. We have a button here where you can choose the type of chart. Let's just say you don't like the candle chart. Let's say you like the line chart, the bar chart. There's so many different options, right? And that's the whole point here, is that you're learning about what you like and what you can use to set up your trading. A lot of the times people might say, oh, there's certain rules to trading. You shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't trade in a bar graph style, or you shouldn't trade in a line chart. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their own system. Everybody has their own choice, and I could be a testament to that based on just my portfolio success over time, I guess you could say. And you can see kind of my success here. It's nothing crazy, but it's a decent. The point here is that everybody has their own system, but you can see here are the dates, the times of day. You can see the price, how it ranges. We can see all of this, and you can zoom out and zoom in. So that's essentially how to use your Robinhood Legend chart feature. This is the new chart system within Robinhood Legend. There's a ton of features. I highly recommend you click around, maybe even create some different portfolios, some systems, some layouts that you can use. When I say portfolios, I really mean like these landscapes that you can kind of use and study. And I think you'll do very well with it. All right. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.